Yo, what's up guys? Michael here. Hope everyone's having a great summer. It's brutally hot, baby. It's the end of July. There's old Hunter coming in hot. But I'm out here by the hidden field. It's I call it the hidden field. It's kind of like a little tucked away field that I'm putting a food plot in. It's a little over a quarter acre, and we'll be doing a fall food plot here. But what you see growing behind me is the buckwheat. Look at this buckwheat. Just look at that. I mean, it's averaging 4 to 5 feet tall. Completely took over. And the whole point of using this, it's not for food. I'm not using this as a summer food plot, although deer, they do feed on it a little bit, but they're very selective, feeders. They're selective browsers, and buckwheat isn't the top of the list. And I've watched them feed on it a little bit. They're also bedding in here. Look at this. You could see, I don't know if you could see it, where they matted it down, because they're bedding in here, and then this is slowly popping back up. And that's the thing about buckwheat, it'll just kind of stand back up. But the whole point of me using buckwheat here is to prepare for the fall food plot. Buckwheat is an amazing smother crop. So you can see there's no weeds growing in here at all. It completely smothers out the weeds. You could see all sorts of pollinators flying around. It's good for the soil, it's good for the environment. And on top of it, it allows us to use less fertilizer, less herbicide. So it improves the soil. And then what we'll do is come in here next month some point in time and actually broadcast the fall food plot in here into the standing buckwheat. And then we're going to crimp the buckwheat over, and it'll create a nice mulch. We'll terminate this buckwheat. It'll create a nice mulch for that fall forage just to grow up. And it'll really limit the amount of herbicides and chemicals we have to use. And that's the whole point. And eventually I'm going to get to a point where I'm doing completely no-till, no chemical, no herbicide, and no chemical fertilizer. And that's the goal. So in the next year or two, as I get into these rotations, that's what we're aiming for. It'll be good for the environment, for the soil, for my property, for the wildlife, and for even the health of me and my family. So that's the buckwheat. Stay tuned. We'll be doing a video when we broadcast that fall food plot seed, and then crimp it over. And then you could see my Egyptian wheatgrass. It's actually a blend. It's not just Egyptian wheatgrass. Now I planted this a little bit later, but you could see I got a good 10 to 15 foot swath of this growing, and that's approaching 3 foot to 4 foot right now. If it has about another month of growing, I'm hoping we could at least get up to 6 foot, right? So you could walk by here without being seen if there's something in this plot, right, in the fall. So there is a slope right here. I don't know if you could really see it, but if this even gets only 5 foot high, because of that slope, if you're walking by, it'll be higher than you, right? Unless you're like 7, 8 foot tall. I'm 6 foot tall, so I don't got to worry about it. We do have some of this screening going around the opposite side here, but there's a nice tree line here that I'll be able to use to screen my movement back to the stand, which is in this back corner. And then on top of it, you'll have that screening growing up in front of the tree line. So this should work out really well. There is a trail that busts down in the woods over this way. I have a stand down there, so that is the reason for this screening. And then we'll be able to hop into that stand and hopefully remain out of view of anything that could potentially be hanging out in the fall food plot before we get to the stand, right? That's the whole point. So that's kind of the food plot program. I got a couple of these small hunting kill plots that are about a quarter acre or so. There's another couple on the other side of the property, and our goal is to catch deer in the daylight coming in, more specifically mature bucks. So stay tuned. We'll bring more videos soon. It is brutally hot, so me and Hunter are gonna get back to the cabin. Catch you later, guys.